Hi, and welcome to Talk RX with Dr. Neha. We're filming in Bali, and I received a question from a traveler, and I wanted to share that with you. She wrote in and she basically said, my sister and I are very close in age, and we've had very similar childhood and family friends our whole lives. My sister's personality is very direct. And sometimes that's hard for people. And so I've noticed that as we've grown older, some of those friends that we used to have gravitated more to me than they have to my sister. And so that in itself is a little bit straining, but I value them and I want to be friends with them. So what do I do? Because I also find them talking negatively about my sister in front of me. And I just feel like I'm between a rock and a hard place. How do I handle that? And I thought about that and I just thought, wow, what truth there is to the blending of family, to knowing friends and family over time, and how we change and evolve, and what we value might change and evolve. So the first thing that I thought of is how beautiful that even if they feel that they've grown apart from her sister, that they make an effort to be friends with her. Now, where that crosses the line, and there might be a boundary issue that I'm really hearing from her, and this goes back to healthy boundaries. What are your boundaries? How do you draw them? Are they different for family? Are they different for friends? Are they different at work? How do you navigate that complexity? And so the thing that I'm really hearing here is the problem is actually not that they have grown apart, because it sounds like she's willing to allow that to happen and stay friends with them. It's the question I would ask is, have you had a conversation with them? So it would sound something like this. You overhear them saying that your sister is a bully, that she's too, that what she says is actually mean and inappropriate. I made it up. So let's just say that's what they said, okay? And you hear them talking about this in front of you. What would you do? What you would say is, hey, so-and-so, I'm going to make up the name, Carol. Carol and Joan, what I want you to know is that I love you, I adore you, and our friendship. And I also notice that lately you haven't really been spending time with Teresa, her sister, right? And I really want to honor that you and I still have a really strong connection, and Teresa's my sister. And so what I want to do is say that in order for this to work, because I want it to work and you're important to me, it's hurtful for me to be in the presence of you speaking about her, not to her. And so what I'll ask is, please don't speak about her in front of me, because that will allow me to stay connected to you. Because now I'm in this awkward position where I feel like, should I tell her? Should I not? But that would betray you. And then I just start to feel like this relationship isn't in alignment for me anymore. And so does that make sense? Is that something that you think we could make agreements around? And I really want to honor, we've never had this conversation, so how would you know? But I've noticed the last few times that we've been together, in some way, shape, or form, my sister comes up. And I just appreciate if that wasn't discussed in front of me. If you have something to say, please say it to her directly. Would that work? So that was a little long-winded, but that's the gist of how you would confront something like that directly, right? Because if you start telling your sister everything they're saying, now what you've done is you've created a loop where you're talking about people, not to them, and it just fuels the fire. Now your sister's even more upset, and it'll eventually get back to them. So have you ever said to somebody, let me tell you something, but please don't tell anybody else? And how well does that work? So I advocate for clear and direct communication in whatever arena it needs to happen. You don't need to take care of your sister. It sounds like she is strong and capable and can take care of things herself. You need to take care of your relationships with the people you care about and draw clear boundaries before you blame them and say they're doing something wrong that you've never actually had a conversation delineating with them. So I hope this was helpful in the wild world of modern families and complicated communication. Just stay true, stay compassionate, and have direct conversations with the people that matter to you. And direct conversations with the people, if you have difficulty, that actually said what it is that you're having difficulty with. Okay, so that's all for this week. It's been TalkRx with Dr. Neha. Please comment on the blog below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and I'd love to hear an example of how something similar might have happened to you. Until next time.